Hi there, another great opportunity, Dlocal. As you can see, the market cap right now is about $3 billion, right? Price $11 per share. Now, over the years, if you look at the revenue and earnings, they have increased quite a lot. From 400 million here to over 800 million. You had the growth rate from 22 to 23 over 50%. Then from 23 to 24 over 14%. And then the estimates for 2025, the growth rate about 16%. So this is quite a lot. Now, you also look at the earnings. This is a profitable company. They have increased their earnings from 100 million in 2022 to 150 million in 2024. And the estimates, they expect the revenue to go to 188 million. Now, how can you value this company to know whether it's undervalued or overvalued? Well, you look at the most important indicators for this business, Dlocal. As you probably know, they offer payment services to different merchants. And they make money based on the total payment value. When this volume grows, they make more money. And by the way, based on this volume, which now is about 25 billion, they charge a fee, which is about 3% around that range. Now, here is the most important thing. As long as this total payment value continues to grow, and from 2024 to 2025, the estimates is expected to increase by 26%. So another great growth rate. And then you look at the net take rate. As you can see, over the years, this net take rate has decreased from 3.9% to 2.9% 2024, and for 2025, the estimate is 2.68%. Now, here is the most important thing. As long as the growth rate for the total payment volume is higher, so 26% higher than their decline in their net take rate, Dlocal will make money. Will continue to make more money and the business will grow. That's quite a lot. Now, the next question you should ask is, how much can Dlocal grow in the future, in the next 5 to 10 years? For instance, keep in mind that total payment volume right now is about $42 billion, right? And the estimates, as you probably know, they operate in the emerging markets. And the estimates is that this total payment volume will increase to $3.5 trillion by 2028. Be aware of this, emerging markets. Now, the current, because maybe these estimates won't happen, the current total payment volume for emerging markets, the total addressable market is about $1.8 trillion. So $1.8 trillion, right? 2025. Now, you have to understand that these estimates are for emerging markets. This means here you also have China. Right? And in China, you have other competitors such as Alipay, Tencent, and maybe new entrants. So you have to subtract that because Dlocal, yes, they operate more markets, Asia, Africa, Latin America. But if you look at the revenue, most of the revenue comes from Latin America. Be aware of this. Most of the revenue comes from Latin America. So if you want to make a fair assessment of their future growth rate, how much this company can grow, then you have to look at Latin America, the total addressable market for Latin America here, which is expected to increase to $700 billion by 2028, right? And the current market, the total addressable market, is about 350 billion 2025, right? Now, here is the thing. Right now, look here, they have 32 billion in total payment volume, and the total addressable market is about 350 billion, right? So they have close to 10% market share, right? Now, they can grow more as this total addressable market is expected to double in the next 2 years, just 2 years. This means also this volume will double to 64 billion, right? And if this volume doubles to 64 billion, guess what will happen to the market cap? You will have a 2x, right? Based on this reasoning, right? Now, you also have to be aware of another important indicator, which is net take rate. If those rates go to 1%, it will be bad, because you may no longer have a double. Only if they expand the market share to 20%. And this is possible. This is possible. But if they maintain their rates above 2%, and they also expand their market share to 20%, then you may have more than 2x on this company. So you have to be very careful how you assess this company and when you get in. Yes, right now, even if the rates keep going down, let's say to 2%, you can still have a double. Now, if they don't grow, they don't succeed to compete and maintain their market share of about 10%, which might grow more in the future, and that will be quite a huge problem. That's why you have to be very, very careful, because you have declining take rates, you have more competitors that want to bite from this market share around 10%, and if they don't compete efficiently, then you might not have a double in the next 2 years, maybe 50%, but still, that's great. That's great. In the next 2 years to have 50% return on investment, that's quite great. And by the way, if you look at their balance sheet, cash 600 million and no debt. So right now, Dlocal looks quite interesting. As long as they maintain their position, even if their rates go to 2%, still you can have a double. But watch closely this company, because you might get it at a lower price. And if that happens, your return might be more than 2x. And by the way, if you want better investment ideas with high returns and low risk, you can simply go to my profile and join my membership. Press join, and there you can have access to my portfolio and see exactly what I buy and what I sell. And of course, you can also have access to other business analysis, other investment ideas with great returns. So if you want better results to make more money in the long term, then join my membership. And if you have other questions about this company, Dlocal, please let me know in the comments.